Genesis going up against Pretty Neat, and with the commentary is going to be Wave Punk and Lawler. Take it away, guys.
Thanks so much, Axel. I'm Wave Punk, joined here by Lawler. And Lawler, we have Genesis, a squad that we have seen so often up against That's Pretty Neat, a squad we saw just today. And it's going to be an exciting matchup. The old dogs versus the new dogs. We don't know how it's going to go.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. Kudos to the new dogs for making it this far, but they've got a tough battle. Genesis, kudos to them because they've had a battle through that bracket after losing early.
Absolutely.
So coming down, the big difference for those that are unaware, Classics, like they stated at the desk, has taken over for Quinn. Quinn has stepped down and retired. So part of the reason why they brought him in is because of his type of play style. He's a very aggressive player. He's one that's going to contest, hopefully, at the midfield to give some pressure. So those guys in back, James kind of fanboys over him a little bit, but Espion's going to be up to make some plays, and hopefully Pluto hits up that defense.
Absolutely, yeah. Espion and Pluto, both known for being players who rotate quickly onto defense, going to be very much complemented by the playstyle of Classics, who's just an aggressor, always up there on that front line. So we'll see how that goes, and they're going to be up against Subin, Sathu, and Squills, who missed the obvious name choice of the S squad and went with That's Pretty Neat instead. I am excited to see how they play in this match, and if the loser goes home, winner gets to play in RLCS Season 2. Let's play ball. Subin and Sathu moving up quickly. Sathu gets a demo onto Classics. He's going to try and push this one towards the goal. We have Genesis in the blue, and That's Pretty Neat in the orange. That's Pretty Neat currently back on defense. Trying to push it out. Espion goes up to make a shot, and here comes Classics up from the back, passing over to Espion. Nice aggression here as Classics tries to set that one up again. It's not going to work out just yet. Genesis still on the aggression as Squill clears it away. There's a midline defense coming through for Classics. See if That's Pretty Neat is able to push out of their own half.
See, now this is exactly what Genesis needs to do. Applying this pressure suits them very well. It allows them to just keep rotating. Eventually a shot will go in. They'll wear them down. Issue is if this Pretty Neat team can get out of their own zone and start putting pressure the other way, Classics tends to put in a different type of style of gameplay, and it causes issues. So hopefully one of these teams will start to show up, and then the other one adapts like we saw earlier in the day.
One thing we noticed about That's Pretty Neat the first time we saw them was that they are a very, very strong defensive team who will play very much in defense. Wow, that was hard. There were 3 players in goal there as Espion took a shot, and an excellent save there. I think it was by Sathu who was able to put that one away.
Yeah, Genesis is going to have to get creative.
Pluto now trying to press this one out. In the corner, he's rocking the Dominus GT. He's ditched his trademark skull decal on a standard Dominus and picked up one of the new crate cars. It's very cool to see that car in play as he comes screaming in to try and push that one through. Subin gets the clear, and Squill now on the counterplay. Has to make Espion make a save there, but Pluto able to rotate back quickly. Like we said, they love to rotate back on a defense, and there's Classics trying to aggress outwards. He and Pluto moving up together. Pluto's going to pass back to the midfield. So Espion takes a shot towards the net, but blocked away by Squills.
Good job trying to get a little bit more creative. Rather than going for the direct approach, you see a pass coming in. Now they need to take that to the next level, but good steps so far made by Genesis.
2:55 left to go. Still scoreless in game number 1. So Pluto passes to Espion, who wasn't really sure what to do with it, so lets Classics take it. 4 players currently in the corner of That's Pretty Neat side of the field. Classics trying to push that one through, but Subin wins out. He's able to push it up. Now Espion in the back. Does not get a touch, but he's able to kind of zone out Squills, who can't make a proper shot, and that leaves it with Pluto, who now moves up and into the orange. Loses the 50-50 with Subin, who sends this one towards the net, but Espion is there to clear it over to the corner.
Yeah, back in their corner, though, the pressure is starting to come out from That's Pretty Neat. I think they're starting to recognize that defense isn't going to win these games, and as they apply pressure, they're doing a pretty good job keeping this Genesis team on their back heel.
Classics able to clear it away. A touch from Pluto. Now Squills in the corner alongside Espion, who falls back. Very heads-up play there to realize Classics was coming in. Back off, let Classics take an opportunity there. Sathu gets the save on the shot from Classics. He's earned himself a Savior medal already. Very tight shot there that just barely doesn't go in. Bounces off of the corner. Leaves it with Classics down here at midfield.
Yeah, need to be careful. They sent 2 on that shot. They're trying to go for a pinch, and it almost worked, just barely missing wide to the left. But immediately rotating back on defense could have spelled trouble if they didn't.
Classics trying to push this one out. Subin takes a shot towards the net over the top of Pluto and Espion. And that's first blood for That's Pretty Neat.
Yeah, Classic's trying to get it clear, doesn't read it correctly, and has to just try to pinch it and put it against the wall. Issue is it hits that wall at such an angle that it bounces perfectly right back out for that. It's pretty neat. And they're able to take a shot on net, squeaking it past, like you said, the defense of Genesis.
You can tell it's a goal by the way it is. That's pretty neat. Going to get on the board here right off the bat. 1:27 left to go as they try to score again off a kickoff. Pluto now pushing this one over and into the orange. A nice touch from Espeon, putting it behind the goalies, but Pluto just quite didn't have the touch to get it around. That leaves Sathu and Subban trying to push out of their own half. Squill now takes it around the corner. Pluto's up to contest, but does not get a touch. Espeon's able to take it from Squill and keep the pressure on. Genesis is looking for a goal.
Yeah, despite Squill being on his own half, he's playing patient, which can be scary. He gets it past one, but the second one not going to fall for it. And they put it right back in, but now they have a chance to put some pressure on this Genesis squad.
Well done by Pluto to clear that one to the corner. Let his teammates rotate in behind him. Espeon and Classics now moving up, 45 seconds left, and they still need one goal just to tie it up. Pluto watching this one. Classics going for bullies in goal to try and mess with the defense. That's pretty neat. Espeon pops it high. He's following along, but Squill was there. Now Pluto. Nice bump there by Espeon onto Sathu, but Sathu still keeps the defense strong at the midfield line. Now Subban pops this one out. Espeon taking a shot, goes off the corner. Classics can't make a touch. Pluto gets it past two, but Sathu patiently waiting in goal. Gets juked around by Espeon. Pluto's up for this one to try and drop it, but he doesn't have it. Subban able to push it away. Final countdown. Genesis needs one, or that's pretty neat. Is going to be able to take the victory here. A nice bump there by Subban, opening up some room for Sathu. It doesn't matter. The goal is going to touch the ground, and that's pretty neat. Takes the win.
Yeah, pretty neat coming out with game number one. And it was really textbook play, nothing too crazy or fancy. They got kind of a bounce off that corner that wasn't expected, so they got a shot, made it. But other than that, they played defense, they kept them out. I mean, Espeon was really the only one trying to make some shots with 5 alone.
Yeah, that was very, very interesting to see Espeon, statistically the player who was the most aggressive in this game after we had talked about Classics being that aggressor, that was why they picked him up.
And what I mean by that is, so like when this That's Pretty Neat team's trying to clear it out, Classics is going to be the one to meet him.
Right.
Espeon's going to be the guy that follows up that hit, whether it be a shot or a pass, and then Classics and him do their kind of work. So they need to get that back involved. Pluto doesn't have the ability to just push it upfield right now because there's no one there that he has to push it up against. So take that time to slow it down a little bit. But at the same time, Pretty Neat did the opposite. They did aggress quite a bit. They kept those guys in their own zone.
Yeah, they did very, very well. And it was not at all how we thought this game was going to go. A 1-0 game, very low-scoring game. Two defensive teams, as we had talked about, teams that have a high priority on defense. You'd expect a low-scoring game. But still, to see Pretty Neat take it to Genesis here in game number one. Genesis needs to wake up. I know they're tired after playing a full day of Rocket League, but this is the most important game of the day.
Right, you made it this far, you might as well give it your all.
Exactly.
Not saying that these guys aren't. Obviously, they are going to take some changes, and they're going to come back strong. I know this Genesis squad has it in them, but Pretty Neat, this is where you guys need to shove them. Kill that morale, kill that ability to come back. Because if they go up 2-0, that's going to put them in an amazing spot, and I honestly don't think Genesis will be able to come back against that. Although we have seen them reverse sweep before.
We've seen them reverse sweep bigger teams than That's Pretty Neat, so never count them out. It's always possible. Pluto puts it over to the side. This Classics is going to be able to pinch that one away. Sending it just wide with a goal. That's Pretty Neat. Had taken game number one. Genesis now looking to tie up the series. Well, That's Pretty Neat looking to run away with it. Subban, Sathu pushing out here. Subban gets it past one player, puts it up into the corner. Pluto is there, wins the 50-50, is able to get it over the top of Sathu. He's just got to win out here with Squills. Sends it towards the net. Can he get the second touch? Oh, it doesn't quite go towards the goal. Clears away as it bounces off the side of his car, and there's the ball back in Genesis's half.
Sometimes those are the hardest goals to make, the ones that are wide open, but Sathu almost going to get it. Trying to get this back out. It's stuck in the middle of the net. They need a big clear or something, and just piggybacking off of top of each other is scary. If one gets past it, that means both are going to be out of position. Yeah,
Classics and Pluto, not really sure who should go for that one. It works out for them, because there wasn't all that much pressure from Pretty Neat, but it was a scary situation for Genesis. 3:56 left to go, still scoreless in game number two. So Classics plays that one down. Sathu keeps the pressure on. Espeon able to clear it away. Pluto set up in goal right now for Genesis as Espeon puts it out to the middle. Pluto transitions outwards. Nice touch there from Squills. Make that rotation not work out as he's able to put it towards the net. A nice touch from Classics keeps it away. Oh my goodness, it was already going in, and now Pluto with the counterplay. Can he get it in? No, it doesn't go. He couldn't get the touch. You talked about the open goals being hard sometimes, and there's another example.
Yeah, unfortunate. They had a chance. Really good counterplay too after making that crucial save. Classics had a beautiful clear, and Pluto was all ready for it. Just the touch that needed to be a little bit farther to the left. Sometimes what people will do is they'll take and turn into that player cam and just match it up perfectly. But Pluto should be making those shots. We know he can.
Espeon putting this one around 2. Squills picks it up, waits patiently, passes it back to the middle. Pluto puts it into the corner. Now Sathu and Squill on the wall, able to pass it around. A nice interception from Espeon. Sends it towards the net, but Subban was there and able to put it away. Now Pluto and Classics up on the offense. Pluto pops it out, but no one was there. Both Pluto and Classics kind of went for the same move. You got to wonder if one player had been out in the middle, if they would have been able to score. Espeon shoots a bit high on that one, but they're keeping the pressure on. Now Espeon able to put it over to the corner. He and Classics watching this one as they turn it around. Press it back onto the offense. Here they come again. 2:18 left in the game. Past halftime, still scoreless in game number 2. So Classics keeps it in the corner. This has been solid pressure from Genesis. They had a moment of breaking back into their own half and then transitioning it straight back. They've kept this siege on for a while. Winning the 50-50 with Subban there is Pluto. But Subban picks it up off of a touch from Squill. Espeon keeps the pressure on. He's got it around all the defenders. Can Classics send it in? He does, and there's first blood on the board for Genesis.
Beautiful play by Pluto and Espeon. Espeon takes a shot on net here and playing it off the wall. It forces Sathu out of the net, and because of that, he's able to pop it over. And with Classics, my apologies, Pluto. It was Classics who had that shot that rotated in, but still, he still had to beat that last man on defense as well. It's a good placement on the shot.
Well done. Genesis now with a lead in game number 2. Squill and Sathu aggressively positioned, putting it onto the backboard. Espeon tries to play it off. Still in a dangerous spot. If Sathu can get a touch, he does put it into the box, but Classics gets a second touch. Clears it away. Now Squill on the wall trying to get it around all of the Genesis defenders. They're keeping a very tight rotation, but they're able to be right where they need to be every time the ball is coming towards the net. Both Pluto and Espeon went up for that one. If Subban can play this one back into the middle, this could be a scary situation. He does, but it took him long enough that Pluto was able to get back there. Classics also making a save, getting himself a savior medal. Classics, not someone that we have characteristically known as a defender, but who is definitely showing up right now for Genesis.
Yeah, Classics can play all around if need be, and that's part of the reason why he's as good as he is. It's just a matter of normally we see him on offense, but you're starting to see these roles swap up. They're filling in where they need it rather than where they fit suit, and that's fine. I mean, if you have each team player willing to make and play at a certain position and then rotate in and out, it's going to help you a little bit more cover some situations that are uncharacteristic, which despite them not happening as much, you're seeing the Genesis squad try something different because this defense, whether it's one back, if you need to play it off the backboard again to yourself, why not?
Squill and Subban moved up very wide for an offensive position. Classic sets this one up. Espeon's up, and he pushes it through, just muscles it past Subban and makes it a 2-point game.
Good recognition from Espeon. Classics plays this down and reads it against Sathu, who pops it back in. But you see Espeon getting up and reading in, watching that the whole way, and just cuts off any clear possible for this. That's pretty neat.
That was quite the play there by Espeon. As Genesis up by 2, game number 2. Poised to tie up the series. Squills and Subban now on the offense. With 18 seconds left, it's looking like Genesis has got this one in the bag unless we see some last-minute heroics here from That's Pretty Neat. Pluto waiting this one out, just playing the patient game, letting the clock run down. Espeon takes a shot. Almost every player on the pitch went up for that one, but it's not going to matter. As it hits 1 second, the ball will touch the ground. This will be the end of game number 2, as you can't score 2 points with 1 goal. So Genesis tying up the series, making a response to That's Pretty Neat.
Yeah, textbook play yet again. You see these guys come out, they control a little bit more pace, got a little bit more creative with their goals. Even with Espeon, the one that started off with the help of Classics, there was a goalie on net, and we saw originally in the first game, he just put it on net and would hope someone would follow it up. But in this case, he plays it off the backboard, plays it over the top. He causes that defender to get out. So they're getting creative, which is what you want. You're going to see these teams adapt correctly, and why not take advantage of your mechanical skill if you can? Absolutely,
yeah. Genesis showing their veteran nature, showing, in light of a defeat, immediately bouncing back, able to take it to that's pretty neat, keep them scoreless in this game, shutting them completely out. Very well done.
Yeah. And that's something that contests to how Genesis is going to adapt. If they're able to go completely scoreless, obviously they shut down some of the things, but they're recognizing the plays that are developing. They're doing a really good job. Espeon, like I said, followed that the whole way. You see that Classics came in and asserted that aggression that we were talking about to stop the clear in the first place. So they're doing the things that they need to get back into this. Now it's a matter of if That's Pretty Neat can do the same thing.
Yeah, That's Pretty Neat. Again, the defense holds on very, very tightly for them. They only held Genesis. They held Genesis to 2 goals.
Right.
But they weren't able to respond at all on the offense. It's not the defense on That's Pretty Neat that I'm worried about. They have to be able to figure out how to play out. In the first series, we saw some excellent passing plays from That's Pretty Neat when they were playing earlier. If they can make some plays like that again, they will easily be able to get it around any defense, I believe.
Yeah, as long as they keep up, and that's what they have to learn from, is if they're going to be making plays like that, you need to carry it out through. You saw what happened and what allowed them to do in the first place, but Genesis counteracted that. As soon as they tried to make some of those same plays, they were met by a defender.
Sure.
And that's kudos to Genesis.
Yes, Genesis, solid rotations. As Will said, they prioritize the defense on their rotations. They have been able to make the offense work very effectively there in game number 2. Game number 3, moving on. Series tied up here at a game apiece. It's still anybody's game at this point. That's Pretty Neat. Looking for their spot in their first time in the RLCS. Genesis looking to qualify once more.
Yeah, Genesis trying to get back into it. They know what it's like to be at the LAN, to win some money, so they've got a lot riding on them, trying to get back into this match.
Pluto following this one alongside Subin. Espeon's able to push it across the midfield line. Ball in. That's Pretty Neat's corner. So Pluto sets this one up, but Subin is there around the top corner of his goal to clear it back up to midfield. Now Espeon and Classics, nice small passing. They pop it up very high. Pluto's watching this. He's watching for an opportunity, seeing if he needs to come in, and here he comes, trying to put it in. Oh, he doesn't get the touch. And it's not going to happen as he plays it back out to the middle. They're going to keep the offensive going. As you saw, Espeon and Classics both try to put that one in.
It was really creative, too. They put a lot of pass. Oh, what a shot.
What a shot there by Classics. First blood going to Genesis.
Yeah, a lot of creative plays coming back and forth. They passed it about 3-4 times in front of the net. And as soon as Pluto missed that shot, someone was headed back to defense.
Right.
But even because of that, Pluto recovered so fast, he was able to jump in and push it to the side to his own team, even before anybody on their team got to it. That allowed them to keep that pressure, and that's what allowed to that goal.
4:06 left to go in game number 1. Genesis has scored first, looking to score again. So Classics drops that one down. Sathu and Squill pushing it out, but Espeon gets it over the top of both, drops in front of the box, and Pluto's not going to miss that one. An excellent 1-2 play from Genesis.
Just like you said, Espeon able to get over the top, gets up early, pops it over, and then comes in again, and he beats another defender. Usually with one touch, you want to beat one person, but he's able to do it on his own, making that very easy for his team.
Just right after they scored the first one, they score a second one. That's Pretty Neat. Needs to find some way to transition onto offense, as Genesis is heating up right now. Espeon over to Classics. A nice play by Subin over the top of Classics. And here comes Pluto, transitioning very quickly. Sathu able to get that one away from Classics, but Espeon drops it back towards the box. Classics drops it down straight in front. Espeon turns, but Sathu is there as well. He's able to get it through. Pluto plays it over to the side. Now Classics watching this one, gets it past one. Subin is there. It bounces around, just kind of ping-ponging in the corner. But Sathu is not able to get the block. Classics comes in. Subin has to make the save as Pluto tries to pressure this one again. Solid, just offensive siege going on right now for Genesis.
Subin's doing a really good job of surveying the field. He's waiting for his teammates to make a play. And he's also watching the positioning of the other players. He's putting himself and positioning himself in a way to make sure some of these shots go in. It's just a matter of he can't do it on his own. Someone else on this That's Pretty Neat team needs to step up and help Subin out.
Espeon trying to zone out the That's Pretty Neat players. As Classics tries to dribble it around, but Squill was able to get the ball from him, put it up on the wall. Now Pluto to the far side. Subin watches this one, misses that touch, and a bump onto Sathu. Buys some space for Genesis. Classics comes in trying to shoot, but blocked by Subin again. Now Sathu plays it off the wall. Pluto knew where it was going, plays it to the far side, and Espeon is already up for this one. Does not get the touch. Subin puts it back into the middle. Now Pluto up the center. Sathu over the top, an open shot onto the net, can it go in? He gets it around, and that's a point on the board there for That's Pretty Neat.
Just what we needed, someone to step up like I stated, and Sathu's going to read that well. Pops it over the top and uses that corner. If he would have played it on net, he would have got a goal as well. But good job following that up and playing it inside with that corner of his car. Good placement and right underneath. Any bit higher, it probably would have been saved.
With 2:20 left to go, That's Pretty Neat is on the board. They're only down by 1, looking to take their second game of the series. They can get one more on the board, tie it up. Espion with a nice shot on the net. Squill was almost there, but was just too far back.
Yeah, Squill tried to go up for the first save here. He thought Classic was going to get it and caused him to jump. After Pluto missed it there, he was still trying to recover. So as soon as he landed, another shot was coming in. Like you said, he was a little bit too far in net to get in front of it. Even if he would have air rolled, it probably would have been too late.
2-11. Just as we saw, That's Pretty Neat get on the board. Genesis immediately responds, making it a 2-point game again. Espion keeps this pressure on. Classics is up for it as well. Trying to go for an aerial pass, interrupted by Squill. Sathu is going to be moving up as well, alongside Squill. They're going to let Subin rotate in. Good rotations from That's Pretty Neat. But given Genesis a lot of space right now to work with, which is not something you want to do against a team as experienced as Genesis. Classics is up for this one, drops it over the top of 1, puts it behind Subin, who's able to make the turn. Put it back over into the blue. Now Pluto over to Espion. Get the passes. Squill sees what's going to happen and puts it back into the blue corner. They're looking to score again as Espion and Classics move up here, passing between each other, trying to get the small plays to put it around this solid That's Pretty Neat defense. Classics does not get the touch. Oh, but he messes up Subin. Subin had an opportunity to score there, and a nice bump by Classics will remove that.
Yeah, that screw up actually threw off Squill as well. He was following that play up, shadowing it from the back. And as soon as that mistouch happened, he actually tried to rotate and get into it, but just wasn't able to read it in time.
Classics going for demos on the goalies, but no one able to take a shot from the rest of the Genesis roster. Final minute of gameplay, and That's Pretty Neat. Still down by 2 as Espion puts it just off the crossbar. Pluto keeps this pressure in their half. Squill's able to clear it away. He's watching this one, moving up with Sathu. It's the sort of positioning we saw from them when they were making the pass plays the last time they played on stream. They were not able to get it through Genesis this time. Ball out at midfield. Sathu playing it over the top of Pluto. Espion, last line of defense, has to get the touch, does not get there. Squill is up, can he drop it? No, Pluto intercepts, keeps it away. Excellent rotation from Genesis, realizing Espion was in trouble and able to get it away. With 20 seconds left, it's looking dire right now for That's Pretty Neat. This game looking very much in control of Genesis, but Sathu gets it past 2, has to get it past Espion, but Espion reads it well, sends it over to the side, and with 10 seconds left and ball control in Genesis' hands right now, I think this game's going to Genesis.
Yeah, during that entire time, Classics as well was just being a nuisance. He was taking people's boosts, he was bubbing into them. He just wasn't even allowing them to get past midfield to help his team. So good play and good heads-up play by Classics, just bullying this other team. Even if it didn't prevail and lead to anything, it still killed time, and sometimes you can play that time game when you're ahead by 2.
And with that win, Genesis moves on to match point. They have one more match to go. If they win this one, they qualify for RLCS Season 2 in the group stages, and That's Pretty Neat will be going home. That's Pretty Neat's got their work cut out for them. They got to win 2 in a row.
Going to be very tough against the Genesis defense. That's where Pluto tends to shine. He's one of the most notorious for when people aggress too hard. He has really long clears, and normally they lead to goals. And he's probably one of the best that is also good at clearing from that wall.
Right. Yeah, no, and I really, really was impressed by the plays we were seeing from Genesis there. The way that they were able to set each other up, the way that they were able to get it around this stalwart defense we've been seeing from That's Pretty Neat. Excellent setups, especially from Espion. I really like when he passed it off the wall, Pluto was right there. He knew exactly what Espion was doing, and those sorts of plays is what has them up.
You even see stuff creative, too, like there was a play where he was moving downfield and he just chipped it to the left and his teammate was already up in there ready to hit that back in. It's just stuff like that where you're trying to use your teammates and utilize what you have when you're in a 1v2 situation is really smart, and I give kudos to Genesis for trying that stuff out, even though it can be extremely risky.
Yeah, no, they played very, very well, very just well thought out, methodical style of offense, and I really enjoyed watching it. And we'll see if That's Pretty Neat is able to respond. I still have yet to see some more passing plays come out from this squad. They had 1 or 2 the first round I really enjoyed. I would love to see them be able to make it work, but so far Genesis has been shutting them down a lot of times at the midline.
Yeah, it's just tough too when you got Classics being a bully. Like some of those guys were trying to rotate in, and he literally just drove next to them. Was like, "No, you're not gonna turn left here. It's not allowed."
It's a very, very effective way to just zone them out, put them out of position, game number 4 is underway, and everything is on the line for That's Pretty Neat. Genesis only needs one more to move on. As Pluto plays this one off the wall, gets it past Subban, who's going up for the challenge. Sathu plays it back into the blue, but a nice pop there from Pluto, pops it out to the middle. Sathu and Subban both kind of overcommit on that one. 2 players on the same spot. This could be dangerous as it bounces in. Classics gets first blood.
Dangerous, just like you said. You saw 2 people go for the defense there, and because of that, it gives Pluto a free opportunity. He actually bounces it off the ground, and Subban gets a piece of it, which pushes it all the way across. Luckily for this Genesis team, Classics is waiting and puts a rocket of a shot on the top right corner.
Just an excellent awareness. The amount of time from when it touched Pluto's car to when it touched Classics' car was not even half a second. He had so little time to decide that shot and to find the placement, and he found it perfectly. He's got more shots coming in right now. Espeon putting it back in front of the box. Can Classics finish? No, it goes away. Excellent defense by Subban.
That beautiful defense is still keeping them within 1, even though we talk about how much offense they need. If they weren't as good at defense as they were, we'd have a much larger score margin.
Differential.
Origin. Wow.
Sure. Score origin. Sounds like an X-Men movie. I don't know. Squill gonna drop this one down. Subban is there, but blocked away. Genesis's defense coming up strong for them as well, keeping them with this lead, as that was a nice offensive play. It's what they need, and the counter play comes through for Espeon and makes it a 2-point game.
Back and forth. This is what I wanted to see from the start and what we mentioned. Espeon and Classics working together. Pass down to the right. Classics plays it back up, and then Espeon taking the shot. No one there to contest it. They just move so fast as a unit.
3:56 on the clock. 2 goals so far for Genesis. And That's Pretty Neat. Looking for their first. They need 2 now just to stay alive at all. Sathu trying to play this one, but Classics able to win the drag race and played over the top, but a nice touch comes through. They've got it back in the blue corner. Squills has an easy opportunity. It goes wide. Nobody was there. He was a bit loose from his roll and wasn't able to make the shot. You gotta be hurting for That's Pretty Neat when they can't put that one in.
That's so rough. He made such a good mind game too. He knew he was gonna get contested, so he just didn't even go for it. Right past 1, and then just doesn't have the recovery to make the goal. Gotta be frustrating.
Classics now trying to play this one out of his own half. Sathu able to send a shot towards the backboard, but cleared away by Espeon. Back into the corner. Squill and Sathu out of position right now as Pluto tries to push it away. Sathu's able to get around him, keep the pressure on, but eventually Genesis will be able to clear this one on touches from Pluto. He's playing patiently, just both players trying to mind game each other. What a play in the corner. Eventually it's going to work out for That's Pretty Neat as they're able to push this one into blue. They got it around, tries to get it past Pluto, but he just straight tackles. Squill now trying to set something up for Sathu, but it's not going to work as it goes all the way back onto the orange board. Classics. Oh no, Sathu! You just feel That's Pretty Neat coming apart with that own goal.
It's so unfortunate too, because Sathu was in position to make a save. It's just this shot from Classics. He thought initially it was on net, so he jumped backwards to try and make that save, but because it bounced off that backboard, it came against him and then went in. Just frustrating stuff. There's only so much you can do.
And you know you got to be feeling the pressure right now when it's game 4, everything's on the line, and the jitters are going to be starting to get to you as you were so close so many times to being able to qualify. That defense has really been holding up for you. If they could just create some offense, maybe shake it off. If there's any way they can get out of their own heads and not let those that free goal and the own goal get back to them, they might still have an opportunity. Both 2:22 left to go and down by 3. This would be the biggest comeback in RLCS history. They would make quite the waves if they were able to pull it off. Classics dribbling this one around. Squill doesn't know what to do with it. Espeon just clears Classics. Gives That's Pretty Neat some space here, but he's going to be able to put it into the corner and give his teammates time.
Yeah, this team is so ready to go back on defense. And even though Squill's trying to make the most of it, he's trying to go for a demo there on Classics, it just doesn't seem to be enough. They're maintaining the possession game very well, and they're spreading out very well. It makes it very difficult to do anything when at any time you go somewhere, there's someone there waiting to either take it from you or push it back in with their teammate.
So very pretty carry there by Espeon, but Pluto could not take the shot. He still has it in a dangerous spot as Pluto comes in to try and shoot, goes just over the ball. 3 players very stacked up right now for That's Pretty Neat. As Classics comes in to provide pressure, Squill has to make a backward save into the corner just to buy his teammates time to get set up in goal. Now Espeon shooting towards the net. What an angle. It was actually on target. Cleared by Subban, getting himself a savior medal. Subban, again, like you said earlier, playing very well on defense, really keeping his team alive in this one, but they have to be able to score.
Yeah, you see these guys rotate in, and this is the issue. As soon as that ball is up, look how ready Genesis is ready to play. As soon as that ball's in, someone's going to take a touch. If someone's not there, there's going to be someone following it in some way, shape, or form to make sure the pressure stays consistent.
Nice shot by Squill. It was probably high, but Espion clears it either way. And with the final minute encroaching, it's looking more and more likely that Genesis will qualify for RLCS Season 2. That's pretty neat. Trying desperately to score. They're moving up here. Subban puts it towards the net. He can't get it in just yet. And Espion isn't able to get there. Squill puts a point on the board. 37 seconds left. They only need 2.
That's what we're talking about. Squill and Subban working their way up. Subban takes good control over that and makes a pass on the top. Plays it against. He can't get the angle, but luckily for him, his teammate is following him up behind, and it just draws that defender out of the way. They still have a chance. 37 seconds left. They need to win.
They need to play aggressive. They need to pass. Sathy needs to put this one out to Squill. They get it over the top as Espion gets a solid touch, and Pluto transitions onto the offense for Genesis, and Classic sends one in just as it looked like there was a hope. He shuts it down.
Yeah, Subban retreating on his back here, gets the boost and trying to get a hit, but that bounce off that corner just pops it perfectly back inside for Subban and Classics, but Classics is already up in the air waiting for it to take that shot.
24 seconds, down by 3, everything on the line for That's Pretty Neat. As the ball moves into their corner, Sathu is there. He pushes it up, Squill drops it down. Subban try and take a shot towards the net, cleared by Espion. Final 10 seconds, Pluto has a breakaway if Classics can just put this one in, and it's gonna be just all over at this point. 5 seconds, you need 3. Pluto, Genesis, they have ball control. It's all coming down, and Genesis is gonna be moving on to RLCS. Well done by That's Pretty Neat, giving a valiant effort here all day long, but Genesis will take the spot.
Definitely a formidable defense coming out from That's Pretty Neat, but unfortunately it's not enough. Offense prevailing once again, and Genesis adapting after that first game to take 3 consecutive wins are going to clutch it and make themselves into league play.
They did so well. They're coming through with 13 shots here in game number 4. These guys played lights out. Every game that Genesis played, they looked better and better, and this was a dominating performance.
Yeah, after 5 games to make it there, they finally secure it. They battled all the way through that loser's bracket, which is no feat. Like, that's tough stuff to do.
Yeah. That is no small thing to sniff at. But Subban coming up very strong here for Pretty Neat. They played very well. He has that team in a good place right now, and if they will stick together for a long time, I could easily see them being competitive as they move forward. But it will be Genesis who takes that spot in the group stages for North America. We'll be passing it back over to the analyst desk with Axel Toss and the guys. Tell us what you saw.
Thanks, guys. Cool match there. Genesis advancing. I'm sure James, a little bit of smile here and there from James. But I got to say, this might be a testament to experience. Maybe Genesis was in a similar situation in Season 1 of RLCS, and in Season 2, everything's on the line. They're able to come forward. It wasn't necessarily easy, but they closed it out, and now they're in RLCS Season 2.
You're very right. For those of you who are wondering what you're referencing, it was Genesis needed to beat Kings of Urban to get into the LAN. Otherwise, they had no hope. And so Genesis likes to make us wait till the final moment to know if they're going to get it.
I think they just do it for you.
Well, why would they want to make me that nervous?
Exactly. That's exactly why they do it. They're like, let's just mess with James some more.
But that's pretty neat. In all honesty, their defense was on point all day. They just couldn't seem to get anything going on the offensive side. On all the games that we saw them play on stream, they were never able to score more than 2 goals, but their defense was still just impeccable.
Yeah, I mean, they've struggled from that a few times. Sometimes they don't really make opportunities. Sometimes they're a little slow to that. They're really good at clearing it, and they are really good at preventing a lot of shots on goal. But you can only do that for so long until eventually something might get put in your net, or a game can never end 0-0. So you're going to have to eventually make something of a play.
Well, let's take a look at again at that match as we see the Mobile One high performance replay to see exactly how Genesis was able to close that out.
And it started out all That's Pretty Neat. The only goal, again, they shut Genesis out in game 1. In that one, Subban was able to sneak by Pluto and Espion.
Subban played very well. I mean, as they mentioned as they were casting it, Subban seemed to be kind of their MVP. Just kind of all over the place, setting up some really good plays and opportunities. But Genesis, when they turn it on and they want to win, they're going to put some goals in.
And Classics was, in my opinion, the difference maker for Genesis. Look at that shot there. And then another one off Pluto's pass, coming out to him into the middle, putting just a laser beam on net. Classics was the key factor for Genesis.
Yeah, and I definitely heard during one of the games they were saying how Classics can be just a menace. But we said that was 3 goals in a row that he put in for Genesis, and he just can contest the ball so well. He's always there. He's always just getting in the way and trying to get 50-50, trying to win the ball, trying to get possession. And that interrupts a lot of the plays that another team tries to make.
Yeah, Pluto, he was playing well. He was playing solid, getting the ball out of the zone, but he was struggling finishing shots. And that's exactly the opposite problem that Classics had. Classics was just a beast. In the last game, 7 shots and a hat trick. And Espeon also played very well, getting some goals of his own, especially that one where he just forced it in to the upper corner off the Classics pass that wrapped around the side. But Genesis, the team that we saw give us such a great show at the live final, they've made it into league play.
And it's honestly pretty cool seeing the dynamic of, Classics is the third here who wasn't necessarily a part of that team in season 1. And then he's able to come in and it seems like they have a good amount of chemistry. Obviously, had to do a lot of work in the lower bracket, but sometimes if you're playing a lot of games, you get into kind of a groove and then it leads to victory. So again, congrats to Genesis. They are our 7th team in RLCS season 2, which means, I know it's difficult sometimes to do math on stream, but I'm going to try this one, guys.
All right.
We have 1 spot remaining. We have 1 spot remaining in league play.
Played it safe. You played it safe.
Yeah, that's good math.
1 spot remaining in North American League play. Of course, the final match is going to be the defending world champions, G2 eSports. Remember, they lost earlier today against Take-Two in the upper bracket, and now they're in the lower bracket. So G2 eSports will be playing against Classic Stanley. That's coming up. Your world champions of RLCS Season 1. Stay tuned. Last match of the day. We're almost there. We'll be right back.